Focus Mark 1 with a Subaru powertrain. We need to have a look more closely at that one, don't we? Welcome to Lot 76 Cars. My name's Simon and today I'm at the British Motor Museum for the fabulous 2024 Ford National event. Some great cars to see, many of which you can see behind us. So let's go and have a look at them and have a chat to some of the owners. So like a moth to a flame, I'm drawn to the Mark 1 Ford Granada, particularly this one, this lovely colour. It's not an ordinary Mark 1 Ford Granada, if you call them ordinary. This 73 car is one of the cars built in South Africa by a company called Basil Green Motors, who were stuffing big old V8s in them. And they gave them the model name of Piranha. So no messing about with that one, really. It promises 130 mile an hour top speed, apparently, if you're brave enough. That is beautiful, isn't it? What a car, what a colour. So these are becoming pretty thin on the ground. This is the Mark II Ford Mondeo. So the Mondeo was launched in 93. By 96 or 97 it had a facelift, and it was quite a big one. In actual fact, so much so really it could have been called the Mark II. Distinctive lights on the front, different rear light treatment. They also found some more interior room by sculpting out the front of the back seats, different dashboard or enhanced dashboard. This one's one of the rarer ST24 versions, and actually, as I say, you really don't see them. You don't see Mondeo's Mark 1 or even Mark 2 so much these days anyway. So this is a Ford Kuga, sold in the US as a Mercury Kuga, and without many Ford badges under Mercury brand. You can see the owners actually put one of the American spec badges on it. These are a proper four-seater coupe, replacing the Probe, which was built, I think, on a Mazda platform, Mazda 6. This one isn't. I think it's Ford's own work. Lovely inside, proper Grand Tourer there. Some interesting looking switchgear. You've got the Kuga on the steering wheel as well, and obviously a lot of recognisable Ford switchgear. This one looks like it's got some sort of RS kit on it, and an interesting styling feature on the rear lights. Yeah, good to see those here. And again, they're not seen so often. So with the demise of the Cortina and the arrival of the initially hatchback only Sierra, Ford needed to fill the gap, and they filled the gap with a booted version of the Escort called the Orion, which some people may well remember. This is a Mark IV car. It looks like it's a facelifted car, so it's got the plastic bumpers, full plastic bumpers on there. This one's got a few tasty mods on it. Decent proper factory sunroof in there. Oh, to have a sunroof back in the day, you'd really arrive with a pop-up sunroof, especially a factory one. Oh, it's good, isn't it? A lovely colour. So this was Ford's last effort, a large car, and this is one of the last ones from 1998. Originally known as Granada, then in this model it became known as the Scorpio. It's booted, got a very controversial style with those front lights. By the end of production they'd actually changed the rear styling a little bit, although, you know, time has mellowed views on that. We'll take a look inside because it's actually quite a special place to be. They only use this every single day. Now in Ultima spec it's pretty much got all the toys, full leather interior, looks like it's got the CD changer in there as well. Look at that fake wood. Apparently in this 2.3 guise, very comfortable and reasonably economical, so that's lovely, isn't it? So you've been absolutely tangoed, haven't you? It's the ST Owners Club for the ST in electric orange. Well, let's stop and have a chat with one of the owners and find out what the attraction is and what he's done to his car. So with Alex, who owns this fabulous electric orange Focus ST, tell us about it. I mean, this is a pretty rare car. You've got an owners club just for it, haven't you?
Yeah, got 3,700 members. It's been running for 12 years, this club. I've lots of new owners come and go because people sell their cars and come back with the car again. Yeah, we've been going for so long, been doing shows everywhere.
And what's so special about this colour run? It was a limited colour run on these cars, was it?
Yeah, based on the Lamborghini orange. Ford just took this out, made this colour on the car, make it stand out. Same with the green RSs. This is our green RS. It's the orange ST.
And you've done quite a bit to it in terms of under bonnet is absolutely lovely. Tell us what's going on here.
Right, so we've got the clown skulls hydro dipping.
Okay.
I've got that on the interior as well, on the clocks. I've got it on the dashboard, the door mirrors.
Lovely Recaro seats as well. There's quite a bit of detail going on.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of detail
really
gone into it, yeah.
And what have you done power-wise? Have you increased the power
So
of
yeah,
this?
it's stage 2. It's got Dream Science Mod X, and it ran 338 on the dyno.
330, and what are they stock? About
225 stock, well 221 stock.
221 stock.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous, that's great. Well, thank you for telling us about it. It's a lovely car, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. So from the rounded Mark 1 Granada, the Mark 2 Granada had a number of changes, became a lot squarer in design, got that more recognisable front that went on to be a signature note of the brand for a few years. In fact, there's a Mark 2 facelift in the background, which is handy, where the bumpers increased in size. This one's a 2 litre L, so you know, towards the bottom of the range it was a 4-cylinder car, whereas I think the 2.3, if you could upgrade to a 2.3, you got the V6 engine. But that's lovely, isn't it, to see proper vinyl roof on it, a rear spoiler. What's not to like? So you want something a bit more basic? Well, how about this bottom of the range Cortina? It's a 2-door. It doesn't even have the strips on the side. It doesn't have those rubber inserts to the bumpers. It has plastic trim on the inside. I think it's a 1.3. Oh, there's not much to go wrong. Windy windows, of course. Wow, there isn't even a radio. So I think this one is ex-Haynes Motor Museum, and I believe originally was a survivor of a company car from back in the day, owned by a company in Peterborough, hence the registration number FL. Oh, that's immense, isn't it? I love the colour, I love that car, and I don't think you can find too many 1.3 2-door Cortinas, are you? So Ford introduced the Mark 1 Focus to much acclaim in 1998. Fabulous handling cars, but I don't think they envisaged that somebody would stick in a Subaru powertrain. I'm assuming it's an Impreza powertrain. It's pretty much packed in there. This one, the owners actually changed the badging as well to be super correct. So instead of a Ford badge, we've got a combined Ford and Subaru badge, and the model name, well, Subaracus, something like that. Well, you're not going to see too many of those, are you? You're certainly the only one at the show, without a doubt. So Ford went on to facelift the Mark II, and it picked up different bumpers, different grille, lights. I think maybe the front lights are the same, but certainly the rear lights are different on the sedan. This is an estate, incredibly usable. This one's a beautiful nick, automatic, probably a 2.8i. It's even got the proper Ford roof rack still on it. A lot of these are not on TRX wheels and tyres, because apparently the TRX wheels have got metric tyres and they're £500 a corner. So like many, this one's been changed, but that's a beautiful colour, isn't it? And what an immensely usable car. So here's a Mark II facelift with a difference. You spot the difference? Well, it's got a bit of extra length in the back doors. We'll have a look at that in a second. It looks to be a Minster, I think by one of the coach builders. I'm not sure whether it be Coleman Mill or somebody else. The attention to detail where the engine bay has been painted and cleaned is absolutely immense on this car. I mean, shout out to the owner on that one. I'm in total awe of that one. Stunning looking paintwork on that one. And we'll just take a walk round to the back of the car. We'll try and, hopefully with the reflections, we'll try and give you some idea how much room is in the back of the car. I mean, look at that. Get myself out of the frame, but that, it's got loads of space in it. Not quite an extended wheelbase that funeral directors used to use, but certainly looks definitely like a VIP car, doesn't it? So this is Ford's warm hatch version of the Fiesta of the day. It's a 1.6S, and I have driven one of these a long time ago. They're reasonably nippy with the 1.6 engine in. Not quite the XR2i, but certainly weren't the price or the insurance for those of us who were struggling back in the day. Absolutely lovely car, this one, isn't it? Owner's done quite a bit of work to it, if I remember. I think I may have seen this last year. It's got those plastic wheel trims on, which were standard on the XR2i, and you had to pay extra even for alloys. That's lovely, isn't it? So to celebrate the anniversary of the Fiesta hitting 30 years, Ford launched this anniversary edition in 3 colours. There is a lime, a yellow and a red. And here we've got the yellow one. It's got a lot of yellow on it. It's got that checkered flag roof, which was common to the cars. I can't see in this one, but it's also got the plate. This is number 202. Sorry, you can't really see that, but it's the plate on the dashboard. This one's not had too many mods. It looks a bit lower, and it's got the rear spoiler on it, but you'd certainly stand out with one of those, wouldn't you? So the Focus RS, all built in Imperial Blue, got a 2-litre Zetec engine. I think these are best part 200 brake horsepower, maybe a bit more actually. Beautiful, beautiful condition of this one. Looked like it's been modded with maybe some OZ wheels, Ford Motorsport wheels, or branded. That looks absolutely immense, doesn't it? And the amount of work that's gone into some of these cars today, as you'll see. This is badged up Sabre tuning. It's got a few more dials on the inside, but look at the work that's gone into the engine bay. It's incredible how much work people do on these. They've even coated some of the housings, painted the rocker top. Wow, I'm in awe of that one, I must admit. That looks lovely, doesn't it? So this is the Fiesta Mark 6 ST. Never actually given the badge 150, but it's always known to people as the ST 150. It's got the 2-litre engine in there, so I would imagine a fair bit of torque with it. And these are probably one of the most unappreciated STs so far. I can see the ST having the same appeal that some of the RSs do in future. Maybe a future Ford to cherish. So back in 1993, we cannot underestimate what a game changer the Ford Mondeo was. So it replaced the very old by then Ford Sierra, and basically absolutely blitzed the opposition. Ford had to do better. The Escort had been very badly received, so Richard Parry-Jones was given the task of engineering this, and it was much more of a driver's car and an incredible step forward. Mark 1s, well, they're pretty thin on the ground these days. Let's just have a look inside this one. Let's appreciate what the sales reps of the early 90s had to live with. Well, they got a 5-speed gearbox, they got a radio, they hadn't quite got aircon. That was reserved for the gear models at launch. Oh, but if you like blue, that's the place to be, isn't it? Love those Ford interiors of the day. But it has got bragging rights because it's got a factory pop-up sunroof. Isn't that great? It's an LX, but it's got GLX wheel trims. It's sad that I know that, but I need to get out more. So this Mark II facelift car was saved from a scrap heap. Apparently it's a 2000 car, and it was on a pile of 3 cars saved back in 2017. Somebody mentioned that there's even the marks that the forklift truck had left on the back of the car. This was a bit of a step forward from the Mark 1 that we're just looking at in terms of interior comfort and a bit more space on the inside, but it's not survived too well to say it was rescued from a scrapyard, has it? That's lovely. And they're just getting so rare these days, aren't they? These were street furniture along with the Mark 1. So the Mark II Escort, I think project name Brenda, by the end of its life has sporting, like this one, some square headlamps rather than the round one. It's a late one. I mean, if it's an 80, right on the cusp of the launch of the Mark III. Not sure what this colour's called. I might be making this one up. Is it Java Green? I can't remember. It's got some great period stickers. It's got a Caravan Club Mayday sticker there. What a gorgeous interior that is. And it's in absolutely brilliant condition. It says it's been adjusted to run on a leaded fuel. Well, that's handy. That is a really rare car to see it today. That stands out to me. That's lovely. So it would be easy to mistake this for another Orion, which is special enough, but it's a 1600E. So these were built off the production line by Tickford. Quite expensive, relatively rare cars. We're going to have a chat with the owner, Jonathan, in a second, who's going to tell us a bit more about these, but I doubt you will see another one of these. I've rarely seen these, but this is absolutely lovely. Jonathan, welcome to Lot 76 Cars. Tell us about the 1600E, because this is a car that's more than the sum of its parts. It was, wasn't it built by Tickford for Ford?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were very limited run. I believe they only did 1600 of them, but I've heard there was a few less. They did them in 3 colours: raven black. It was like a grey silver, mercury silver, I think it was. And even more limited run in diamond white.
Wow, like this car, yeah. This is. And what were the changes that they made to the car? Because I can see the wood trim, and I'll cut in some pictures of that. Yeah.
Yeah, they did the wood trim. They retrimmed the seats in leather, and as you can see down here, you've still got the thing to fold them forwards.
Wow, that's incredible. So you've got.
They were retrimmed from the, I don't know if it was the XR3 or the RS Turbo.
Well, that's handy. Tilting seats in a 4-door car. And how many of these do you think actually survive?
Not many now, I don't think.
I've rarely seen them. I've seen a few scrappers on eBay, but in terms of mechanically, it's a standard 1600i injection engine CVH.
Yeah, it's just the standard 1.6. Yeah. So they put the different alloys on them. I was trying to think what else they did. I think they basically took the gear spec cars and just improvised. Did the seats, did the wheels, did the wood cappings across the top of the door cars.
Yes.
And just did a limited run of them, just to
and built at Tickford rather than built in Ford. Properly hand built. Well, thank you for telling us about it. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Jonathan. Thank you. Cheers. So imported from the US, built on a platform shared with then part-owned subsidiary Mazda, is the Ford Probe. It's got its pop-up lights on there. Beautiful model in the dashboard that somebody's got on a rotating plinth. I'm just wondering whether this colour might be Melina blue or something like that. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure whether it was less successful than the Cougar that replaced it, but they're certainly distinctive looking car. They're quite white, aren't they? So when the Mondeo was launched in 1993, Ford sent out 211 of these special citrine yellow Mondeos, each to promote the arrival of the car at the dealerships in place of the Sierra it was taking the place of. Now, this particular car was supplied to Prout's garage down in Torbay, and very few of these remain. You can imagine if they only produced 211 of them. There are 10 of them which were produced for a Ford dealer called Hendy's, and Hendy's actually uprated the engine. Unlike the other cars, they weren't standard. They had maybe another 20 or 30 brake horsepower. These are super rare today. I think it's the first time I've seen one in the flesh, actually. So the Ford Escort Cosworth was actually built on a shortened Sierra Cosworth platform rather than the Escort platform. Now this one is a special car because not only is it mallard green, which is an absolutely lovely colour, it's one of the Monty special editions, a limited number of vehicles built to celebrate the success of Francis Delacour in the Monte Carlo Rally, I believe. It's got the whale tail spoiler. I think early cars had a larger turbo, later cars slightly less power and had the smaller turbo but a bit more drivable. They're worth tremendous amounts of money these days and still quick, I think. So near the top of the range for the Fiesta Mark II, so-called, despite the fact it only had some changed body panels on the outside, externally anyway. Beautiful condition inside. I think we're just about to get a peek in there. This is gear trim, so you've got the sunroof, you've got a few other bits and bobs, and it's a 1.4. That's lovely, isn't it? So this is a Works Ford Escort Mark III 1700T. Now the 1700T was built on a modified XR3 platform and designed for Group B rallying, and we all know what happened with Group B rallying. Unfortunately, due to a serious accident, Group B was abandoned as it was just became too fast, and one of the relics of the cars that never made it any further than this stage was the Ford Escort 1700T. Yeah, as you'd expect, it's a proper rally kind. They're only built for rallying, not built for the road. Got the full cage in the back, as you would expect. Signed by Vatanen, signed by Wilson and Simon Nutter as well. Wow, it's got a few signatures on the other side. Looks like we've got additional cooling at the back here. Wow, that's some immense looking car, isn't it? Now another casualty of Group B is this Ford RS200. This is a road car. I think they had to build a certain number of road cars to homologate it for rallying. It's got GRP carbon panels, absolutely superb condition. This particular car, you'll recognise a lot of the interior from the Ford parts bin. I think these were assembled by Tickford. Pretty standard Ford switches there. I recognise those from the Fiestas of the day, and that immense engine. It's got the gear badge on it. I think maybe gear might be involved with the styling. If Ford owned the gear, well, that one is in beautiful condition, isn't it? You can see it's had quite a bit of time and care lavished on it. Lovely. So launched, I think, in 1990 was the 4x4 version of the Sierra Sapphire Cosworth. And this one, with the four-wheel drive powertrain, actually superseded the two-wheel drive version, and it certainly was considered quite a bit less leery and a bit easier to handle, and a proper baby supercar actually back in the day. What, 220 brake horsepower still? That's a reasonable amount even today, isn't it? So a standard Ford Escort Mark III RS Turbo, it's about 130 brake horsepower. This has got a Turbo Techniques kit, but the bit I'm ignoring at the moment, and the one you've all picked up on, is the fact it's red. Now, the following Mark IV version did come in other colours, but I've never actually seen one of these in red. I'd love to try and find out what the story is. I'm not sure whether the owner's around. Interior looks pretty standard for the period Recaro, but it's got special stack instruments there replacing the other ones. That's a bit subtle, isn't it? Well, that's a rare one, isn't it? And the condition, I'm not sure how well it shows up on camera, but condition is beautiful. Really is. Really well prepared, that one. A lovely 1300L Escort. It's not been changed into a Mexico or anything like this. M-Reg, as standard as it rolled out of the showroom. I'm not sure what that colour is. It's not Roman bronze, that's got slightly more brown in it, but if you know what colour it is, then put it in the comments. So RS2000s came in custom and non-custom with fishnet Recaros, I think tinted glass, or things like a remote mirror on the passenger side, but not many came in Tuscan beige. So somebody I know had a Granada this colour back in the day, and I can't imagine who would have specified one of these in Tuscan beige, but I'm so glad they did, aren't you? The original, and some would argue the best Sierra, is the RS Cosworth, and this is a lovely example in Moonstone Blue. It's not the 500, I think it's a standard car, and it's in great condition. Got that grille at the front where the standard cars had a flat panel. We'll just take a look inside, because it is fortunate the windows open a little bit so we can see how that Ford interior looks. Those Recaros, 5-speed gearbox, and I recognise that from the Sierras I had back in the day. It's in good order, isn't it? Even the dashboard survived, and they don't always do that so well. What a lovely car. Beautiful. So with the Mark III Escort, the Ford moved to front wheel drive from rear wheel drive. It's a bit of a controversy. Launched it under the banner simple is efficient, and this is a relatively late Mark III. C-plater on the cusp of the Mark IV car coming out. It's had a few mods looking at it. The grill's one, certainly it's got that big old spoiler on it. It's certainly in good order, isn't it? A couple of nice Escort cabriolets, Mark V, is that right? On the hop there. You won't find many in that sort of violet colour, will you? Wow, was that an original colour? It's won some awards at the Bromley pageant, so obviously it's had a bit of recognition. Oh, look at the interior trim. Get an eyeful of that. That is so of its time, isn't it? Wow. What a car. So we've got the Orion Club in town. We've got this mineral blue gear. I think it's the injected car with the red stripe around it. I could never afford the insurance of the injected, so I just had the standard one. Here we go, is another gear. This is a later, it's a facelifted car. This is a one-off built by the owner, RS Turbo Orion, the car they never made. We saw this last year and he did an immense job of engineering it to look like an RS. In fact, it's got the Z-Tech powertrain in this one rather than the CVH. Next to it we've got this lovely grey metallic later 1600 injection. They were reasonably rapid, to be fair, and I did prefer these to some extent to the XR3s, but don't tell any XR3 I owners I mentioned that. That's beautiful, isn't it? So we're towards the end of the Orion's life. The booted Escort still survived to this generation, but the later, very late cars in actual fact were badged as Escort. This isn't one of them, but certainly this one's still got the Orion badge, got the original dealer plate Allen and Romford. That's lovely, isn't it? Well, I don't profess to be a Mustang expert, but I do like these a couple of 67 cars, fixed head cars, absolutely beautiful condition this one is as well. Look at that interior is immense, isn't it? The Mustang symbol down there between the seats, as if you didn't know, there's little rocker switches there. Lovely, lovely looking car. The stripe really suits it as well, doesn't it? And for good measure, we've got a black one by the side of it, also a 67 by the look of it. Lovely. So does this prove that energy drinks are actually good for you? We've got a Monster Energy liveried Ford Focus RS, and we've got another line of fantastic RS. So shout out to Ford Hoons, who are absolutely here in force. We've got a four-door Fiesta. We've got was it a Tangerine Scream one? I'll be educated here by the Ford fans, won't I? We've got that lovely blue one. We've got the lime green, another lime green one. We've got the earlier cars. We've got the lot here, so keep watching and we'll try and linger on a few as well. Well, it would be remiss of me to walk past a Capri 2.8 injection. This is an early one, a Y-plated car, 82. The owner's going to let me have a quick look inside it, so we'll just take some pictures. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? Beautiful door cards there with the tartan insert, sort of semi-Recaro type seats, the dash that leans into you, reminiscent of the Cortinas back in the day. That's an absolute beauty, isn't it? I do like that one. And just to complete it, a big old whale tail spoiler on the back. Fabulous. So just over 200 horsepower gave this Mondeo its name, the ST200. I'm not sure how limited a run these were. This one's been beautifully plasti dipped under the bonnet, on the rocker box and the air clean. Even the battery cover's been plasti dipped as well. That looks immense, doesn't it? Still reasonably quick and very pretty. I think, what is the colour, imperial blue perhaps? Probably. And we've got for comparison, we've got another one by the side of it as well. And we've also got the later car, called by some the Mark II, by some the Mark III, who knows, but you got one there as well. Probably looking as factory fresh as you can is this Fiesta Mark II. It is a B plate. I think that must be quite early for the Mark II cars. I had a Mark II, but not a gear. That's a 1.3 before the CVH engine got enlarged to 1.4. Looks absolutely lovely, doesn't it? Great colour and so standard looking. So the Fiesta RS came with the green inserts in the bumpers, which denoted it had extra brake horsepower over the normal XR2i. Normally these come with 130 horsepower, but not for this car. This one's been rated with a bigger turbo to wait for it 180 brake horsepower just by fitting a larger turbo in an engine map. We've got those 3-spoke wheels, which I believe were pretty unique to the RS Turbo Fiesta. We'll just take a quick look inside. Probably some of you will recognise this from more standard Fiestas. Certainly not the seats. They look lovely, don't they? And actually they are branded Recaros. And that instrument cluster will be recognisable from the basic cars. Lovely to see that here today, and becoming relatively rare actually. I think the owner's had it for about 10 years and done lots of work to it, but it's absolutely lovely. So with its base, a bored out 3-litre engine is the Ford Capri RS 3100, built mainly for homologation purposes, considered a bit of a gas guzzler back in the day apparently, and built at Ford's Halewood plant. Quite a few went for export, not huge numbers actually built, but these are pretty rare cars, and one of the things that actually does make them quite rare, we need to come to the back to really fully appreciate, is a spoiler that probably needs planning permission. It's absolutely massive, isn't it? Well, that is genuinely a pretty rare car, and quite a valuable one I suspect as well. So we like a bit of base model brilliance on the channel, and here we've got a Fiesta from originally launched in '89. This will be a late one. It's a '93 pre-facelift. Oh, this one's absolutely indulgent. It's got a passenger door mirror. Wow. It's got those newly, at the time, new seats where I think the covers were bonded direct to the foam. Oh, it's got a radio. Oh, this is looking pretty luxurious. At least it is in a flat blue colour, non-metallic, and all the better for it. Lovely. Now, there's no shortage of imagination with these Focus RS in terms of graphics. Oh, this one looks incredible, doesn't it? You can see how that 3D effect on the side. The amount of attention to detail, plasti dipping gone mad. Looks incredible, doesn't it? But what did catch my eye is this one at the side of it in a sort of a tribute, Nicky Grist and Colin McRae, that famous rally pairing, those beautiful yellow wheels. That works in so many ways, and again, attention to detail. I'll shout out to the guys, that is immense. In fact, all of them are. Shout out to everybody who's made such an effort with their cars. So thanks again for joining me on Lot 76 cars from the British Motor Museum and the Ford Nationals 2024. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Please like, share, subscribe, click on notifications to be informed of my next video, and once again, as always, thanks for watching.